welcome back to my channel. We're learning a quick and easy recipe for those busy peoples that's also nutritious and delicious. Let's get to it. For those of you who have yet to join Hunting for Healthy Family, I've been on a health and fitness journey for over a decade, and I'm using all of my knowledge to help everybody else out there. I have clients who have dealt with ulcerative colitis, gotten off of anxiety meds, and lost 40 pounds, kept it off, and so much more from real, natural, healthy foods. And from my ingredients of 3, the trifecta of awesome: meals, movement, and mentality. The most important part of a prearranged meal that's going to be quick and easy is actually the ingredients. So this company I'm completely obsessed with, and they have excellent products. I highly recommend you check them out. There's no nitrates, there's no antibiotics, there's no hormones. They are humanely raised, which is huge for me, and on a vegetarian diet, gluten-free, and they don't have any weird nasty chemicals. They have cute little stories on the back, and if you open the wrapper, it's also got really cute stories on the inside. And the nutrition guide will explain, you know, how much sugar and all of that jazz is in it, and what is keto friendly or what is not. If you want to know more about how to read labels, please let me know. Okay. Really difficult to find chicken without any kind of sugars, high fructose corn syrups, or funky preservatives in it. So this is a great steal and a great find at Costco. And you just are going to take them out. They are pretty much ready to go. All you have to do is to cut them up. So we're going to cut them long ways first. I find this just makes it a little bit easier to get symmetrical pieces. And you want to push down on the front of the knife and then roll back. This is a chef's knife. It's not very sharp. I don't have the greatest knives. I'm working on finding some new ones. But as you can see, I'm kind of just rolling it and then putting it over into the dish on to the side. Again, I really like symmetrical pieces for really any recipe that I'm doing, simply because it's going to cook more evenly, and then you can, it's just an easier process. As you can see, sometimes the skin kind of sticks to it if your knife isn't sharp enough, and you have to kind of mess with it a little bit. It doesn't take too terribly long though. These had an excellent flavor. They really added a lot to the dish. I was very impressed. A lot of the times these are kind of bland, and this was totally held up to its own right. So this is a zoodler. I've showed this in a lot of my videos. I like to use the wider side, like for almost like a fettuccine alfredo kind of thing. They're not quite that wide, I wish. And then you just spiralize it. Now you can actually switch it around and have, you know, your dominant hand spinning the spiralizer. For whatever reason, I prefer to spin the actual squash or the vegetable into it because I can control and push how much pressure, and then I like to pull it out every once in a while because then it gives it an actual length of a noodle. One time I just zoodled it or spiralized it the entire way, and I never even so it's really hard to eat because the zoodle was like 10 feet long. So I would say that the more fresh, the better it is, because it's not going to be as squishy. It's going to create better quality, but you can do one that's kind of older, but I've noticed with my zucchinis, they're getting old. They don't do so great, and they're really difficult. Now, the actual edge of this, you're supposed to attach like this and push through, but I found a lot of the times that it can just squish around the seeds inside and you just end up with a big, huge mess. However, if they are new, like I was talking about, they work a lot better. Now, if you're like me and you kind of like the larger pieces, as I've shown here, when it gets too thin to really comfortably push it through the zoodler without cutting your fingers, I will do this and chop it into, again, symmetrical pieces so that it will cook evenly. And I just like to make it a little bit more efficient to cut it kind of at the same time like you saw here. And I love that it has those little rotini noodle looking things as well. So now we're going to get our oil and we're going to put it onto our hot pan or our hot plate. I really, really like this induction burner, much, much more than my actual stove. I will have a review listed above about this item. Now you want to heat the oil a little bit so that when you sprinkle it with water, it kind of bubbles up. And as you can see, it did that. And you want to cook the largest pieces first, as you can see here, because they're going to take the longest to cook. If you're wondering why I didn't do the chicken first, it's simply because the chicken is kind of pre-cooked and it actually will cook faster than these items. Now, the best way to know that your zucchini in this stage is done is going to be able to poke a fork. I almost said fork. Poke a fork through it halfway. You want it kind of al dente. I don't really like squishy zucchini. It can be a personal flavor, so I'm always hesitant to say when it's done. But it does need to be at least halfway through, easily pushing a fork through it for it to be completely done. Those will take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes to cook, and you kind of want to stir them as they go. and then you're going to add half of the amount of the zoodles. You want to cook this in small batches. If you try to do it all at once, you'll get soggy zoodles at the bottom, or sqoodles, squash zoodles. I'm making up something new today, on the top. So you have hard and soggy noodles. It's really kind of gross. It's important for this part of it to kind of let it sit for a while. Use your tongs. I found this to be really helpful to flip them over and cook on either side. These cook really quickly as well. I've been keeping my induction burner on 3, which is like medium low, but on a regular stove I would go on medium high, and it would take, these are really fast, they're a lot faster than regular noodles. They take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. And I always, well, almost always add salt and pepper to these as well. And I just kind of let it, again, as you can see here, I just kind of let it sit, let it do its thing, and then I'll come back and I will flip it over with the tongs. So each batch takes about 3 minutes, or 5 minutes, and so that's only like 6 minutes of your time to make these awesome zoodles, right? And then you want to get all of the pieces off in between if you can to prevent burning. I've already made these peppers, and I can do a video on that if you would like it, so comment below if you want to learn how to cook mixed bell peppers, but it complemented this so well. And then you just get this colorful, beautiful dish. You just pour on some more butter and parmesan from my parmesan and steak recipe, which I will link above as well. And then you get to put on some parmesan cheese. If you're on ketogenic diet, high-fat products like in cheeses are an excellent way to kind of spice up a dish, and you can even do something like add mozzarella cheese, maybe even some Monterey Jack, kind of changed up each way that you want it to, and actually sun-dried tomatoes would be fantastic in this. I threw on a little bit of Italian seasoning or oregano, just again to spice it up. As always, the recipe will be provided in the description box below for free, along with all the ingredients that I use. And then, if you want to watch more of my videos, you should watch some of my playlists, because I've got some really, really great content that I've been working on. I am so excited to share with you. Make sure, if you haven't already, to give this video a thumbs up and to share it with your friends if they're novices, if they're learning some new things, or if they're just struggling with health and they just want to know some more. That would mean the world to me. And of course, if you subscribe, you'll get weekly food videos from me, as well as a lot of other health and nutrition information. So, what do you guys want to see next? What is some pasta dish that you crave, that you want an easy, healthy recipe for? Give me ideas, comments below. See you guys next week. Bye-bye! My channel, I have been doing in the health and fit. Hi! If you're new to my channel, stay tuned. The entire description box will have channel.